Hello and welcome to Walk the Pod, your daily walking show where I take my podcast for a walk because I don't have a dog. My name's Rachel Wheely, a human in the world walking my local streets in southwest London and tempting you away from your desk to spend 10 minutes strolling in nature on what is the most beautiful day in the world, the most beautiful day in October I can remember, and a perfect autumn day. And today, in our discussion of friendship, we're going to talk about whether friendship could be a behavioural vaccine. Welcome to Walk the Pod. What do I mean by a behavioural vaccine? Well, studies have shown, research has shown, proper science by proper scientists has shown that people with lots of good friendships live longer and have lower mortality from things like heart disease and cancer. Now, that doesn't actually automatically make any sense. Why having friends would mean that we live longer and have happier, healthier lives. But according to this study that Sam shared with me yesterday, social isolation is very bad for our physical and mental health. So that's my slightly surprising piece of research for you today on friendship, dear friends. It doesn't make any intuitive sense to me why having good support networks would mean that you actually have less risk from various diseases. But being an optimist, being a person who highly values the people in the world and makes friends with people fairly freely, I kind of believe it. Need to look into this study in more detail, I think, just to see some of the details of it. But an interesting idea, nevertheless. So it's been interesting thinking about friendship. We seem to have gone down quite a straight path from saying that society and culture doesn't really value it, to saying, but it probably should be valued much more highly than it is because of the mental and physical health benefits of it. A bit like walking, then. There is a sort of indication that the only reason you would be walking is if you can't run. And my view is actually there's no particular need to travel at speed. We can choose to walk because we want to, not because we can't go any faster. Although it is also very helpful to walk when we can't go faster. So, an interesting things about friendship coming up so far. And I'm going to keep reading about this and keep researching it as we go on. We'll have one more episode with another bit of stuff on friendship tomorrow, and then we'll have Friday's episode as a way to round up what we've learned so far. And then next week, we'll have 5 more episodes to learn a bit more about friendship. What can I see directly in front of me? Well, as I mentioned in the introduction, it's the most beautiful day in the world. It is 21 degrees here in the UK. The sun is shining. There's barely a cloud in the sky. And I think that what we do when it gets to about October in the UK is we stop looking out the window to see whether it's a nice day. We just decide that it isn't, and that it isn't going to be now until March. But actually, it's a beautiful spring-like day today. Stepped out of my house and the temperature outside was exactly the same as the temperature inside, or that's what it felt like. And in addition, there was a sort of sweetness to the air. Don't know what that was all about, but it's lovely. So What I've discovered through recording this podcast for very nearly 4 years now is that I'm surprised to find that if I can be a bit flexible around my lunch break, I very rarely have to go out in the rain. I've recorded very, very few wet weather podcasts, and that just goes to show that going on daily walks can be much drier exercise than you might think. So as I stepped out today, I was surrounded by a herd of little yellow autumn leaves that kind of gambled along beside me as I started my walk towards the post box. Had something to post in the post box today, and the leaves kind of tumbled along next to me in a very pleasing way. And it being so dry and such a lovely sunny day, it just felt like the perfect autumnal experience. Not quite as good as crunching through piles of autumn leaves. And Cindy kindly left me a voice note yesterday, and I didn't actually even reference it, I don't think. I think I just started talking about what I could see directly in front of me straight away. Very rude. Apologies, Cindy, and thank you for your voice note. And I think you mentioned in your voice note yesterday, Cindy, that there was some really good autumnal colours. Reds, yellows, oranges. And I was thinking as I was listening to it that there isn't so much of that yet here. We haven't gone full autumn colours yet. But I hope that we will before too long, because that's a lovely part of the season, to find the really big piles of red, yellow and orange leaves and have a good crunch around in them. What else can I see directly in front of me? Well, it's quite windy today, so there's a fair amount of breeze ruffling the trees that line this urban street, well, suburban street, in the burbs, as John would probably put it. Walking past a variegated hedge with some lovely leaves here, and it's just about audible that there is a jumbo jet progressing through the sky, just going through a cloud now. And in terms of the flowers that are out in the UK, I was interested in Cindy's mention of a locust tree yesterday, and I looked it up, and sure enough they do have some big black seed pods, so that was very interesting to hear about. I don't think we have honey locust trees in the UK. Maybe they're a Nebraska thing, or maybe we do. Another thing to look into a bit more carefully. All kinds of things popping up for consideration in today's episode. I'm feeling like I'm sort of on half power today. Don't know why. Just stepped out the door and don't feel full of beans, but that is taking a daily walk for you. Some days I feel very energised, other days not so much, and I'm lucky to do a 4-day work week these days, so I have 1 day a week that I get to use for studying. I'm doing a Masters in Science Communication and Public Engagement at the University of Edinburgh, and I'm just starting my 3rd year of that. So feel very lucky that I get to do that 1 day a week. And that day is today. So maybe studying is putting me in a slightly more soporific frame of mind than work normally does. Breeze is just throwing a couple of leaves across the road now. And walking along a narrow pavement with little green verges of grass and some trees on the sides of the roads and some wooden bollards placed every so often. Thank you for walking with me, dear friends. It's been a delight to stretch my legs with you this lunchtime. This has been the 3rd episode of Series 51 on friendship. I walk the pod, If you are enjoying the show and would like to get more involved, there are a few ways you can do that. You can join the Walk the Pod Lunchtime Walk Club. You can join our Facebook page. You can follow Walk the Pod's Instagram at Walk the Pod. And you can tell a friend about Walk the Pod if you'd like to encourage other people to listen to walking podcasts in order to get moving. And we can all help each other. It's like a virtual walking club where we can't always walk together, but you'll never walk alone with Walk the Pod. Take care of your beautiful mind, yourselves and each other, and I'll be back with episode 4 tomorrow.